Sounds good.
I'm actually a bit nervous.
Are you?
Well, not really, but I mean,
We've been
okay.
meaning to do this for a while though. Yeah. Do you want to?
I'll do a bit of it. So all it is we thought sort of we should get on the bread from podcasting. Seems to be an obvious next step. Everyone else seems to be doing it.
Making money as well.
And the world was sort of just screaming out for just
for another one.
For just another sort of two white guys in their late 20s, 30s, and I was like, "Oh, I'll plug that," because no one else will.
No one else is doing it.
And I thought, step up to the plate, get some of that bread, and see how it goes. In terms of what it's going to be about, we don't know. I personally, I honestly don't know.
We had an idea originally. So I don't even know what the title of this is going to be.
No one does. That's the point. We're going to explore. A lot of people. This is what pisses me off about podcasts, and we'll get off to a swing. Off to a start. Let's swing for the bleachers.
All right, here we go.
All it is it's quite meta. This because I'm going to be on a podcast saying what I don't like about podcasts. But that's I mean, listen to a different way.
For me, it was about using this time to kind of workshop ideas.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
And then put that in our actual writing. But I'm going to be clear and transparent about that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. Because what you often see is you watch podcasts with like comedians or like sitcom writers, and they'll have like a bit of a riff and a really good idea, and then they'll just put that in their stand-up. And it's like I've already seen this.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Whereas the good thing about this one is no one's going to be watching this.
No one's watching.
So when we've put it in our show,
I'll be amazed if anyone listens to it. Definitely no one's going to be watching it.
Oh god no,
absolutely
god, no.
But so just to
even in a pandemic where no one's got anything else to do.
People have nothing but time.
Yeah.
No, I don't like when people set their stall out and they just like sort of shoehorn with their guest and they go, this is my podcast is about, and I know people who have spent honestly hours, months, weeks really homing in and researching what their podcast is going to be about, and it's going to be so and years later
nerdy.
They have done fuck all. Yeah. It's shit.
It's like
right?
people that
so
talk
I
about...
figured like if that's people who try really hard with it, just come in with no idea. This is the same people like back at like school, especially drama school. For anyone who doesn't know, we are both actors. I went to drama school in the traditional sense, and Harvey went to a more sort of new age
classes,
classes,
acting classes.
But it really pissed me off at drama school when people were like, "Oh, I'm the best one because I'm making all the notes. I'm writing all the stuff down." Give a shit. It literally doesn't matter how much you write down, how much you prepare, because in the eye of the storm, in the shit show that is this industry or the world in general, having all the spark notes in the world won't help anything. And that's what I'm saying about this podcast.
Yeah.
Having a theme that's going to run through it ain't going to make people like it anymore.
I agree with that.
If you are,
I use that as an excuse to my absolute lack of preparation in anything.
Yeah.
But I completely agree with you.
Yeah, that's like the person of being like, do you know the lines? Being like, no, I'm better on the day.
What do you mean? You're definitely not. You can't be better on the day. You physically can't be.
Do you know the lines or no?
Yeah. No. Of course. Look, as and we're making this an acting discussion, which is absolutely fine because that's what we are. Your job is to learn the lines. That's it. Yeah. You can put stuff around that. But when I
first started doing acting, when I professionally going to auditions or whatever, when I was about 14, 15, even well up until probably about 19, 20, when I was still auditioning, I'd just be like, well, no, I'll go into the room with the paper. I'm going to learn the whole fucking script. That's mental. Who has the time to do that? It turns out, every one of my competition, who are now, by the way, quite successful actors. I'm the least successful child actor of my generation. It's difficult to do that for 7 years to audition straight up.
It's an achievement.
And to not book a job, right? But everyone else was going in, and I'd be like, and I'd see these other kids, and I'd be like, where's their paper? It's probably folded up their paper.
Fucking Aaron Taylor-Johnson.
They've learned the lines. They've just learned them.
He has done
so I've only just started learning the lines now.
Yeah.
Not to any more success.
I haven't even really started to do
that. My only feature film the second feature film I did was all improvised.
Yeah.
And they cut me out. They cut me out of the movie. So I'm not. I don't care. I'm not bitter about it.
I was going to say our approach to podcasting is very much the same as our approach to basically anything, in that we'll have an idea. Even like the stuff that we've written together is very much we'll just get in a room and be like, should we just let's just see what happens.
Yeah.
Which has worked. I feel there's a good dynamic that we have.
I think creatively, I think it works. In terms of monetary value, it's.
Oh yeah, I mean you can't put a price on it.
I wouldn't put a price on it
because
can't.
You know, it's zero so far.
What I did think I was going to do is just every so often one of us needs to be the anchor, sort of come
Most
back
likely,
to because we will
it's
go
not,
off.
It's not going to be me.
That's what. So that's what we.
I'm pointing at you.
So
the fact that it is you is
astonishing.
Yeah, I mean we're doing.
Yeah. For me to be the voice of reason here, I was thinking that we're sort of just going to pile through some of. Listen, the fact is the news at the moment. I don't know. I'm very rarely addressing the camera, but I will every so often.
I think it's important.
Yeah,
because you know and when I say you, I mean you want to feel like you're just hanging out with the chaps.
Yeah, you are.
Do you know what I mean? You want to be hanging out with the chaps.
I thought we would just sort of read through some news. It's bleak at the moment. The news is bleak.
There's no good things.
Now, also, what I don't want to do is whilst I have just said we're going to read today's news, I don't want us to be too pinned down to a time frame because I listen to podcasts.
This is going to be timeless.
100%.
Yeah, this will be timeless.
100%. I mean, quite literally, as in, it will be around forever.
Yeah. And also, people look at that. Look at our fashion. Like, they look good even now. And this is probably this. I may have found this tape
2025.
200 years from when it was filmed.
I've
gone way in advance. Because this is timeless.
You've got looking back at the Incas and being like,
long hair is in fashion. It always will be, right? Let's not. It's a thing.
I actually really believe long hair will always be in fashion. If you ever see a long-haired dude in a pub, you're always a bit like, vibey guy.
Yeah, well, he's committed.
He's committed.
He's committed to a look because you look like shit for about a year.
You do look like shit for a year.
Yeah,
I'm just coming out that stage.
You've definitely gone past that stage. There's a stage where like it's not quite like your hair goes above the ear
and it doesn't flop.
It doesn't quite go below the ear. It just sits so you've got like this mound of hair that just sits it's a mushroom.
Oh, I mean, I'll tell you what. Thank goodness I didn't book any job that made me cut my hair.
Same.
Because I mean, really.
I didn't book any job.
I mean, nothing.
Yeah.
I literally left the set of Greed, right, which was 2018, by the way, and just all the way to now. I did a few jobs for the BBC, and they were like, "Do you have to cut my hair?" And they're like, "We don't care." I was like, "Fair enough, cool." You are so minor in this production.
Thinking of doing an accent, just get away from me.
People
just
won't
get away
register
from me.
you.
Yeah.
They won't know you're there. Like mum and dad scrolling through trying to, and I got him. Anyway, back to the news thing.
What's my call time? Doesn't matter, mate.
Whenever you rock up, you are on time.
Have a lay in.
You can't miss.
Have a lay in.
You cannot miss. But the news thing, I'm listening to a podcast, right? And I'm like, oh, everyone's got a nice podcast. I mean, I came to Breaking Bad 4 years late, right? But with a podcast, if you come to a podcast 4 years late and you go from the very beginning, they're talking about shit that you know the outcome of. You know what's going to. So they're talking about like, oh, you know what? Are we going to do well in
knowing the outcome.
Euro 2020? And I'll be like, well, it gets fucking cancelled. We don't do very well.
Imagine knowing the outcome of 2021, and I'm talking to you, my future self.
Mental, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm addressing the future.
They know what's going on. That is mad.
And I'm not.
But that's why I don't want us to get too pinned down with the time of day and like the week of the week's news. I'm fine with. Big political news, I don't want to even tap into. Like something big just happened with the old president of the United States, which was just a shit show. And I don't want to get too bogged down.
Still current president of the United States.
Yeah, but they've named the new one, haven't they?
They have named the new... Well, yeah.
He's now officially won the votes and he is going to be president.
Yeah, but January 20th. What day is it?
Again,
10,
don't...
11,
no,
it doesn't matter. It doesn't... It's Fugazi.
I feel like I've just spent the 7 minutes trying to make the point that we're not going to pin down a time zone.
I've undermined that in about 10 seconds.
You've just gone the 7th of January.
Look, that's going to happen. That's going to happen. I can't control it. I refuse to control it.
Strictly's OT Mum... Oh, I can't pronounce her name.
Oti Mabuse.
She's
wicked.
Mabuse?
Yeah,
she's class. That's not news. That's just. I mean, none of this is news to be honest with you.
Strictly, but you're reading off the Daily Mail. Though.
Yeah, that's the point. It's meant to be satirical.
Oh right, yeah. Keep it light.
What? The wonder they fucked up here.
Nah.
No. They have. He's only up the street, and I get him to Liam Payne. The One Direction star, 37. Liam Payne is not 37 years old. Liam Payne's about 14.
Yeah, because I'm, 27.
No, they.
So
no, they fucked up there again. Not news. So we'll go on to the sort of next one.
Fine.
And then we'll sort of it'll be a jumping point for us.
Cool. Yeah, I'm keen to keep it kinetic.
The Daily Mail is trash. I can't.
Yeah, it is pretty bad. I can't. But then reading anything else is just gonna be fucking depressing.
It's boring and it's.
So I'm just thinking, like, this is the long ass intro, because it is an intro.
Is this the intro?
Yeah, because we've not got to the meat of the meat section.
In number one, Dappy and Tinchy Strider. Now we're deep in way past intro. Dappy explained though, and actually by that point you're like a minute into the song.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
This is not an intro.
No,
Dappy.
This is
Tinchy. This is not an intro. This is you are in the song. You can't just out of nowhere just be like and do your whole fucking rap and be like Dappy explained though, but like, what? Dappy's even in this song? So I can't believe this is an intro.
This is an intro.
Okay.
Because do you know what I mean? Like.
Yeah.
We had an idea for what this podcast was going to be. Well, actually, okay. So this is typical. We've talked about sitting down and doing this for fucking probably the best part of a year now. But the original idea was to call it "The Grass is Always Greener," and the idea was we as actors are kind of unique in our friendship circles in that we're not really friends with that many other actors. Or most of my friends. I made friends. I made most of my friends working in my previous life. So a lot of my friends are like city
language
boys.
is your tool.
Yeah, language is. Yeah. I am a professional public speaker.
Previous life, that's very misleading because that says you've lived again. Harvey, yeah. I found Harvey scuttling around in the drags of just this half-life he was living. Where he was this very, very talented actor and comedian, but he was a businessman. And I still, to this day, by the way, like, you are one of my literal closest friends, and I don't know what you did for a job. I still don't really know.
No one does.
To the creatives out there, to all you 6 people listening, what Harvey did was
both of our mums.
He had a briefcase. Mum's not listening to this. Absolutely not.
I think my mum probably will dive in and out. She'll listen to like a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
She'll know that we've not used any blue language to begin with.
I can't keep on what we're like. This is where we're going to do. I'll talk about mums now. We'll talk about your old job and your second job.
Okay, yeah. So let's go back to the old job.
Met Harvey and he was a businessman. Right, he worked in the city. That's what he did. Made loads of money. And I was making a TV show. Loads of money. And I was making a TV show. With some guy, and I invited Harvey come down to do a part in it. He smashed it. And I was like, you're a very, very funny bloke. You're very good. Oh no, before that.
It's before that.
Sorry. Go back.
This is we're getting way ahead of ourselves.
I'm jumping. I've just jumped a year in front.
Yeah. You're overwhelmed. It's understandable.
I go around to this girl's house who is friend of a friend of a friend of a fucking who gives a shit friend, right? And Harvey's there with a short haircut. Looking quite vibey, but like who's this fucking suit? Do you know what I mean? I just finished my first movie, which then at the time I was assuming was going to be my layer cake. I was like, well, I am. Yeah. I was like, thank God I've made it.
Yeah.
Can sort of take the foot off the gas now a little
bit.
Completely.
I'm going to relax for at least 5 years.
So naturally, I was this 22-year-old, just sort of like, I'm a sort of bit of a legend. 23, 24, but early 20s, so I was a bit of a cocky bastard.
Yeah, I was mid-20s.
We start talking about acting, and he was like, I'd love to be an actor. Now, if you are an actor...
That's the worst thing.
You've heard everyone go down the pub, be like, I'm an actor. Oh, I could have been an actor. Oh, I'm really interested. How'd you get into it? I sacrificed everything in my world.
Yeah, I financially
all my free
ruined
time
myself.
and all my friends. Everyone hates me. I hate myself, but I might have a shot at being on a film set one day. That's how you become an actor. Fuck off. So I didn't like him at that, right? And I didn't. And we start talking about Christopher Walken impressions. I do in my opinion, flawless Christopher Walken impression, right?
It's pretty good.
Up until this point in my life, very sheltered life, I didn't meet many people who could do a better one than me. And this fucking guy, this Harvey character, drops his, and it is literally like he's in the room. It's amazing. So I was like, well, mate, to be honest with you, you could, you probably could have a word at the old acting thing if you really wanted to. I leave the building, I go away, I go on my business, I get a phone call 6 months later. Hello mate, it's Harvey. How'd you get, who are you? We met that time and I did the Christopher Walken. I was like, yeah, how are you? You're all right. I've quit my job. What do you mean? I've quit my job. I'm an actor. I'd love to meet up and have coffee. I was like, the fuck is this guy? So it was like, he had my curiosity, and from that point on, he had my attention. And now we're here. Holy shit.
So that's it. So yeah, we had this idea of the podcast, tying it back in very, very briefly before we cut to a pre-arranged commercial break.
We had pre-arranged it, actually.
Yeah, pre-arranged commercial break, because that's how organised. If
you watch yours, I'm going to really give you an edit thing here. It's going to be hard for you to edit this, but watch this. I'm going to say, if you look at your dial right now, it will say 17 minutes.
So, that's... Well, we got 3 minutes then. So we wanted to call the show "The Grass Is Always Greener" because I have worked in a normal job and then moved into a creative job. Matt, you've only done a creative job, and obviously
not even very many of those.
A few. You've given it your all, but all of our friends are not in creative roles, but they always ask me or they ask Matt. Well, they don't actually, to be honest, but they have like some of these people I know are the funniest people I know. They could easily do a creative role. They could easily be a comedian of some such. I don't mean easily be a stand-up comedian because I appreciate it takes a lot of work as well, but they've got the raw talent. And it's just funny to me that some people will go for it, some people won't. But then I know a lot of actors that have only ever done acting that look at the normal side and the stability of that as like, oh, that would be amazing. And I'm someone that's done both. So we had this idea of bringing in our friends and just having a chat with them and seeing where it went from there. And we still may do that.
Not married to it,
but not married to the idea. Yeah. So
look, if you're tuning in looking for any sort of consistency, I mean, not tuning in at all. You just fucking click a button. Exactly. But if that's what you're looking for, look elsewhere.
Yeah. And on that note, commercial break.
Probably for Mercedes. Richard Adewale in his book once said that no matter what you're reading, watching, doing, essentially you are just waiting for it to end. And I can't help thinking about that every time I ever watch anything. It's the truth. Enjoying it or not, you are waiting for it to end. True. You're waiting for the end.
That's true, but when something's really good, I'm like, I really don't want this to end. But only
I get it. I'm watching the Mandalorian at the moment. I'm really enjoying it.
Is it good?
Yeah, mate, really good. Really good.
Fair.
Really, really, really good. Like fucking sick, actually. Cool. But I am just waiting for it to end.
And that's not a current show, by the way.
No.
You don't wait. It could be. Might not be there. Could be. I
just heard of this great show called The OC.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I wonder what's going to happen to Ryan and Seth.
I watched a movie called Rebel Without a Cause. So that might not be old.
Yeah.
It probably is because they didn't have this level of equipment back
close.
Then. Or they might have, or we might have. This could be 1955. Could be, and we're early adopters. So
you started strong.
I started strong and went off. Yeah, tape it off. Look, you're not going to hit them every time. So swing and a miss. One thing I do actually get, so with movies, it's often I'm like, oh fuck this, I can't wait for this to end. Yeah. Particularly with the trend for movies being like 2.5 hours.
Oh yeah.
Some of them are fucking so long.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't get it with video games.
No,
well, I do get it with video games, but I get it less frequently with video games because I'll sink like 100+ hours into a video game and be like, this is really good. Well, the thing is, right? So I'm like, it's really funny. I'm a proper video game nerd.
You are.
And I'm like a nerd. And when I say that, loads of people are like, oh yeah, me too. It's like, no, you know.
No.
You don't understand, like, it's one thing being into video games, like, yeah, GTA, great. Nah, no one's playing the kind of games that I'm playing, right? I'm playing Dragon Quest XI Echoes of an Elusive Age Definitive Edition S for Nintendo Switch right now. And that's a 100-hour game. And it's Akira Toriyama's art and it's class. And if I, like, right, this is the thing, like, I'm luckily not single, but when I was single, if I'd have that conversation with someone and it was on a date and there would be a girl and she's like, I'm a geek too, it's like, nah.
Yeah.
You're not painting a Warhammer at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? Do you know what I mean? In your pants, because that kind of level doesn't exist, but it does because I'm doing it.
But that is you are like that.
I'm doing it.
And actually, this is where it's a very diverse podcast because everything you just said there to me is just so dull. I have.
You zoned out.
Yeah,
you don't even. That was just noises I was making for about 20 seconds.
That's one bit where I tuned back in and I pointed. And I think I did something like this. I was because I'm playing Valhalla at the moment, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
But that's like
if they want to sponsor, we'll sponsor.
If you want to sponsor.
But what I don't like about it is that like it says to me, I log in. Even me saying log in.
You log in. I have the onlines.
I turn the machine on, and with great difficulty, by the way, I turn it on somehow. And it says, you've been playing for 6 hours and 30 minutes. Well, don't fucking tell me how long I've been playing the game for. I don't want to know how long I've been playing the game for. I know. I
love to crunch the data.
Yeah,
I love the data. Right? I want to know. I want to know the percentage of time I'm spending like climbing things.
Yeah.
It's like I want to. Oh, I've been climbing for 12% of my playtime. I love that shit.
See, I couldn't give a fuck if I ever finished it. I didn't finish Red Dead Redemption. I didn't finish Red Dead Redemption 2.
How far did you get in Red Dead Redemption 2?
2. Yeah. I didn't leave the base camp.
No, that's such a good game.
I got a bounty on my head and I couldn't get rid of it.
Oh, you just pay it.
I didn't have any money.
Oh, in that case,
everywhere I went, I just get fucking shot.
You can get rid of it. I can't remember how.
I couldn't stand it. I couldn't stand it. So stop playing that.
Yeah.
Plus, it's actually quite a violent game. And got GTA. Never finished them. You don't need to finish GTA. Doesn't matter.
Just fuck around here.
However, on FIFA manager modes, I really lost the plot a little bit.
You spent a lot of money, didn't you?
Not money, time, boy.
Time. You know, Ultimate Team. I know people that spent hundreds.
I won't do Ultimate Team for that reason.
Yeah, they're scumbags.
But I play by myself. I'm very
instant person. Look, I won't. Actually, no, FIFA. I will accept a sponsorship, but I'm very expensive for you.
On the list of people that FIFA will sponsor.
Obviously. Look, okay,
you're in the top
100. I'll tell you why. Yeah. Because I've watched programs like Soccer AM.
Oh yeah.
Right? And that sort of you know, they get like cool bands and like famous.
Or they did when semi-famous when they were doing it back in the day.
I've not watched it for probably 15 years.
No one has.
But yeah, so it's like, you know, that's your market, FIFA. That's your market. I've seen the soundtracks as well. They're shit.
No, I won't have that.
No, well, do you know what I'm basing it on? So I'm a big fan of MMA, and the UFC soundtracks are utterly shocking.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
They're so bad.
But everything about the MMA games are so rushed to production. You know what I'm furious at? Is why we got rid of Fight Night, the boxing games.
I am as well, because those were really good games.
Those were amazing. And the MMA games, right? The thing with the boxing games is I don't know anything about boxing, but I enjoy it and I enjoy playing the game.
Sure.
And you can sort of just get the controls and finger.
You can, yeah.
Button smash. What's the phrase?
Button mash.
Button mash.
From Tekken 3.
Whatever.
Tekken 2, if you were being. Well, that'd be,
Whereas the UFC, unless you have like a very deep understanding of what the sport is, like FIFA, any idiot can get on and like figure out how to roughly play the game. You get battered by me, I'll batter anybody.
I get battered. To be fair, I need to get good at it because I think
it's a very social game.
It's a very social game, and they don't really exist anymore.
Now,
like when I was a kid,
about social game,
but not even that. Like Mega Drives or like the PlayStation 1, there would be loads of like couch co-op games where you'd sit next to your mate and play fighting games or play like GoldenEye on N64. Do you know what I mean? It's split screen, but that doesn't exist anymore because of onlines. Because of the onlines.
Because of the onlines.
And
which PlayStation makes you pay for, which I can't stand.
This is probably going out on YouTube, probably. I presume.
Well, yeah.
I don't know. I haven't talked to them.
Unless something terrible has happened to YouTube over the course of the next 6 months. Probably,
Yeah. I don't know. We haven't got any arrangement with our producers. And we have producers. They're just future versions of ourselves. So, dwell on that.
Yeah, that's true.
Dwell on that.
But that so everyone's playing Call of Duty.
More, yeah. Are they though? What time? Which one?
Yeah.
We're not committing to a time.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, they are.
Leave it.
There's loads of them.
They don't stop making.
They don't stop making those games.
So many of those games, I can't stand them.
Yeah, there's a lot.
And I'm rubbish at them because you know what? And I'll go back to I'll name one of them. Modern Warfare 2. It took over the world. It was very big.
Good. I like the.
I gave it a go. I was in maybe year 9. I don't know what year I was in. And you know what? It wasn't that it was for me, but like I'm of the opinion that you have to be naturally good at something to pursue it. If you're not naturally good at it, don't give it up. I mean, give it up because you probably won't be the best of it, and if you can't be the best at it, what's the point?
What if I want to be a potter?
Pottery?
Yeah,
it's not a competitive sport.
But you just said if you're not good at something, you're talking competitive sports.
Competitive anything. Call of Duty is competitive.
It's not a sport. Well, it is a sport.
It's competitive.
Well, it is a sport now.
It's competitive.
See, I've committed to another time.
Pottery is not competitive, so it doesn't matter if you're shit at pottery because you're the only one saying it. But I was shit at Call of Duty, and
mate,
all these years later,
you're telling me
all these years later, I can't. Don't. You're trying to shoehorn the pottery thing.
I'm not shoehorning. I'm clinging to it with both hands.
Come at me.
All right, okay. You tell me pottery is not competitive.
I don't think it is.
Okay, right. Well, tell that to year 9 Harvey, right?
Okay.
When he's trying to woo Lauren Douglas, right? And she has got I forget his name. No, I don't forget his name. It's burned into my fucking memory, isn't it? She's got Chris Johnson, right?
Yeah.
All over her, right? Because he's showing her his pottery.
Chris Johnson is definitely a made-up name. There's no way a man is actually called Chris Johnson.
Because even Lauren Douglas is a pseudonym
to protect the innocent.
Because you don't want to. I'm not going to call out anyone here, but right, she was really into pottery, and then he got really into pottery pathetically, and then I pathetically got into pottery as well because there was a competitive element, and he was my nemesis, and we tried to woo her, and I just ended up making some shit disc.
But this is...
I made a shit disc.
This is over the course of... This must be... pottery is not a thing that you can just like... It's not like...
No, it was an extracurricular activity that I went to... for months.
Yeah.
I was shit.
Because you got to stick it in a kiln and stuff
to
see what it ends up looking
like. In a kiln, yeah. It's wet clay.
And was this Lauren Douglas, was she good at pottery?
She was... what do you know? As much as like a 14-year-old can be good at anything.
I don't know, mate. I mean... I reckon Amir Khan was a pretty fucking good boxer at 14. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what you're saying is she's average pottery.
Yeah, but she wasn't like a world-class potter. Do you know what I mean? She was an amateur potter at best, right? But like in the grand scheme of things, I was an idiot. But
she's maintained her amateur status to perform at the Olympics.
Exactly that.
Smart.
So I'm saying it is competitive.
Okay.
Right? Because I was competing.
Okay.
And I was ready to kill.
You've made it competitive.
I would kill
because you're trying to woo a girl. Right? Whereas Call of Duty is just naturally a competitive game, which I am shit at. I can admit that, right?
Yeah.
The thing is with me, right? I will big myself up when I think I'm good at something, i.e., FIFA, right?
Yeah.
I'm very good at that game, but I will always say when I'm bad at stuff, right? Can't make music for shit, and I can't play Call of Duty. But everyone's playing it now, and we were talking about how games really communicate with people. People chat on these things online and stuff. It's like I'm on a WhatsApp called Squaddy, right? And it's got like a lot of people who I've known throughout my life, who are all mates, and they all go like meet up on Call of Duty and play and chat to each other. And I'm now no longer. I don't do it. I'm on the squad. I see them being like, yeah, mate. Oh, the banter and all the photos coming through.
Yeah,
we won. And I'm like, yeah, they're having a great time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm just playing my manager mode, getting Birmingham City to the Champions League.
You're a wallflower. Do you know what a wallflower is?
No, it's a shit movie with her in it.
Well, do you know what? A wallflower is
Emma Watson,
the girl that was not.
Oh, let's protect the innocent. Let's not.
Call
her out.
My 80-year-old. Well, she's 90 now, but 80-year-old at the time. She was my elderly Burmese grandmother told me a wallflower is the girl that was not asked to dance.
Oh, that's so sad.
Which is really sad, isn't it? But hauntingly beautiful.
I truly believe I was the boy that wasn't asked to dance.
No.
Yeah, man.
No. I can see it. Like, I know I was. I know I was not popular. I was not a popular kid.
Oh no, I was popular. I just wasn't very good with the. I was so hell bent on being mysterious.
Oh, okay. See,
I was hell bent on it.
I was a goth, but it wasn't the mysterious thing that was like, oh, I want to be a goth because I want to be like, oh, you don't even understand me, man.
True.
It was more like, I really like skeletons. That was my reason. Genuinely,
There's such an organic reason to be a goth. I love that.
Yeah, I'm really big fan of the
Dead.
Dead.
What? Actually, that sums you up. For people who don't know Harvey, which is impossible because if you're watching this, then you do know us both.
It'd be weird if you don't. Yeah.
But if you didn't, Harvey is. He I don't think you ever do stuff for the acclaim of anyone's. You do it because you genuinely just like it.
Yeah.
And I'm the opposite. I do things because I'm just like, someone will think this is badass. And the thing is, no one does. No one thinks anything that I've ever done is fucking sick. My head, but I'm sat there just being like, this is gonna be
this
cool.
is class. This is class.
This is gonna be pretty cool. And no one gives a fuck.
No, they will. They will. Podcasting is proper. On that note, I think we're running out of time.
Yeah, we are running
but
out of time.
On that note, you're doing a podcast, and that is badass because it's niche. No one's doing it, as you said.
It's ahead of the curve.
Yeah, way ahead.
Big time.
You know, no one's seemed to have made any money from podcasting as well, which is weird because
not a penny.
So we'll make some. Hopefully, make some. We'll be you know, pioneers in that aspect.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Buy Mercedes-Benz products, probably.
Oh, definitely. We have an affiliation with them. They haven't put their name to this podcast as yet, but it's only a matter of time.
I reckon by the time this comes out, the G-Wagon will be out. So go buy one of those.
Definitely.
That's it.
Cheers.
Right,
yeah.